Hello, this is the third tutorial in Libre Office Calc, and I want to give a very practical example how to use Calc for profit calculations in a small business. And I've taken as an example a bread bakery, bread and mandazi, and it's just an example. The first step is that you have to know your recipes, of course. You have to know what ingredients are needed to make, for instance, 40 loaves of bread, 41 kg loaves. And this is not very random, but you might discuss this. But this is what I approximately need. 27 kg of flour, some salt, firewood, 1 bundle, electricity for the mixer, and packing bags. If I want to make mandazi for 72 bags of 6, I need this amount of flour, some more firewood, some more cooking oil, and so on. So that is of course essential that you know your recipes as complete as possible. All ingredients should be there. Now the second thing is that you have to know your prices. What are the prices of all these ingredients? You buy flour in 50 kg bags for 160, salt for this amount, firewood for that. So this is also all filled in. And then, since we work in the recipes with kgs and liters and grams for the salt and the yeast, we calculate the price per unit, which is of course, for instance, for flour, I buy a bag of 160k, it's 50 kgs, it's a 50 kgs bag, so this is divided, H4 divided by G4 gives you the price per kg. For instance, for sugar the same, this 173,000 over 50. And remember, you put a formula here, because when you change the price of the flour, for instance, you have to update it regularly. Prices are changing, it becomes 180. Then you see your price is per unit per kg is changing accordingly. So that is the second step. The third step is you need to know your fixed costs. When you have a bakery, you need a building, small building, you need to pay your electricity. You have, for instance, 2 bakers or 1, salaries for the sales lady, some miscellaneous, like if I hover over this cell, I made a comment in this cell, if I hover over this red dot here, you can see what miscellaneous is covering. That's for staff, stationery, small things like that. Depreciation, if you have tools, you need to calculate, you need to save some money actually for buying new tools in due time, equipment, furniture, mixer for instance. And then there's some cost for transport and maintenance, and then the total cost per month will be here. Can copy that cell, for instance, copy, paste. My total cost is 1 million, and if you divide that by 25 days, I just calculate here the rent of building per day, that is per month, divided over 25. You divide it over the working days actually, because your cooks, or your baker, your sales lady are not working on Sunday, so you have 25 days on average in a month, or 26, that's up to you. And then you have your total cost, fixed cost per day, whether you bake 20 loaves or 40. Okay, you can decide to pay your baker less or to leave 1 baker at home when you bake fairly little, but that's up to you. This is more or less your fixed cost. Let's assume that. Then don't be scared, we are going to combine this all. So I had my fixed cost, my variable cost, my ingredient costs actually, and then I am going to calculate what are now the variable costs for my loaves of bread that I'm going to bake. So I need 27 kgs of flour. The price of 1 kg of flour is here, 3,2. So this formula should say B19, this cell, multiplied by this cell, G9. Is it correct? Yes, flour. So here I will see B19 times J9. It's here. You get it? And then of course for salt, let's take sugar, it's the same. It's 3.2. This cell, B21 over G6. Yes, so multiplied, not over. So then I have for my 40 loaves of bread, I can easily calculate the cost for that, ingredients, packing bags and firewood, but the variable cost for 40 loaves is this. And then you have to calculate some spillage, you waste some flour, sugar, oil, some bread gets spoiled. I took here 3% of the total, but if from experience you find it's more or less 5 or 6, then you of course upgrade this figure, not 003 but 005 times C28, the total cost variable. So then per loaf I divide it over 40 loaves by 40 loaves, so just over 3,000 shillings per loaf is my production cost, my variable ingredients mainly, and then the sales price per loaf is 4,500, so my gross profit is 1,470 loaves. But of course I have to cover per day this 42 to 40 shillings in order to sustain. So how many loaves must be sold to cover the fixed costs? That's of course the total fixed costs divided over the profit per loaf, and that's what is here. Total fixed cost C12 divided over C33, the gross profit per loaf. So I at least have to bake and sell 30 loaves, and then I have reached my break-even point. This Mandazi, I've done a similar exercise, and then since the gross profit per packet is much less, then of course you have to sell much more to cover your 42,240 fixed costs. So the beauty of this is that if the landlord decided to decrease, very kind landlord, to decrease your rent because you sometimes give him a packet of mandazi by 20,000, then your fixed costs decrease and you only need to make 29 and bake and sell 29 loaves of bread or 64 packets of mandazi to cover all the costs you made. That's break even, not yet profit. Now it's pretty nice to see, for instance, you have a typical day and you sell 39 loaves and 100 packets of mandazi. What should be your net profit? Okay, 39 packets of mandazi, your gross profit is then 39 multiplied by, bread, 39 multiplied by 417 gives you this figure, you see, 39 multiplied by B41 41, what is that one? C32, sorry, this one is C33, the gross profit per loaf multiplied by B41 gives you this figure. And if you sell another 100 packets of mandazi, then your gross profit is that, minus your fixed cost, leaves you at the end of the day with almost 80,000 shillings, 79,038 to be precise. And changing the prices of your products, of course, will have an effect on your net profit here. I hope you understand the principle of this setup, this program, and the beauty is, like I said, if you change the prices of your fixed costs and your variable costs, or you change your sales price here, sales at 4,500 doesn't go that well, so you make it 4,300, then of course your profit is less. You need to sell more loaves in order to cover the fixed costs, and then your gross profit can be lower here. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for listening.